McNair gives it to George, running right up the middle. Touchdown! Titans! There are no flags on the field! It's a miracle!
Safety, now you're one-on-one with it.
Shows why he's the man! In trouble. Sack!
Ladies and gentlemen, Titan Nation, how's everyone doing? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Tennessee Titans, the news on Titans, everything you want. We have it here. We have my buddy joining me. Sal, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Just hanging in here, man.
We're getting past. What stage of grief are we in? I don't know. Is it fifth, sixth?
I've been number 5. I accepted it a long time ago. I think I accepted it that night when I
still
went.
in denial, unfortunately.
Oh man, yeah. I
there.
went to the game and I sat there and I was just kind of enjoyed, took it in, and as all the Bengal fans were clapping and people were upset.
Yeah.
I mean, hey man, they haven't won a playoff game in how many years? 30 or something?
30 years, yeah.
So
30 years.
It is what it is. But other than that, we kind of skipped through that. Now we have, the Ryan Tannehill debacle and everyone freaking out about that, and A.J. Brown batting, and it's got people talking about other things than the Super Bowl. So that's, I guess, good if you want to say it. But everyone's turned on each other.
Well, that's going to happen when you sack a team 9 times and throw 3 interceptions and lose a home playoff game after being the number 1 seed. Yeah, that's going to happen. And if you can't be okay with that, then I don't know if being a professional football fan is the right move for you. I mean, you got to just understand fan bases want one thing and one thing only, and they want to win a Super Bowl, especially one that has never won one like the one we're supporting. So there's going to be 2 sides of the aisle on this as it pertains to the quarterback. I've been pretty outspoken about what my side of the aisle is. If you can look behind me, you'll see a gigantic cardboard box. That's a pricey, I'm not even going to tell you the price, of a Ryan Tannehill signed jersey plaque with 4 pictures in it that I bought about 4 weeks ago because I was on the side of the aisle that some fans still are, that he's the guy. And that's why I bid on it and I won it, and it's not out of the box yet. So I'm trying to get rid of it at this point.
Okay. So got your point, man.
Yeah, that's my side right now. I mean, you got to be completely honest with yourself. This team is as ready to win a Super Bowl as they've been, I'd say, since I was about 5 or 6 years old when they were in it. Mm-hmm. They got all the components you need. They have a very, very good defense. They have a receiving core. They have an all-world running back. They have an offensive line that sometimes is consistent, but at the end of the day, they did their job in the last game they played. Yep. And there's one thing that's holding them back, and it's a quarterback who has the mindset to make a big play in the postseason when his name's called upon. And he's had 3 consecutive chances to do that, and he's failed each time. Yep. And, the only stat you need to know, which is the one I've been preaching over and over again, when asked to throw over 40 times in a game, Ryan Tannehill is 5-20 in his career. When asked to throw the ball more than 15 times in the playoffs, he's 0-3. So I don't know what offensive coordinator, what coaching prodigy you can bring in to not throw the ball on a pick in the first play, to not throw the ball in triple coverage to our worst receiver on the final play of the game. Did the same thing last year, throwing to Khalif Raymond. Yep. I don't know what offensive coordinator is going to change those decisions as a quarterback. But some people believe it's going to happen, and time will tell. And I just don't want to be the I told you so guy.
No, definitely. And like you said, they brought in, Tim Kelly from, the Texans. It seems like that's kind of like a trend too. Like we like to get the Patriot guys, we like to get the Texans guys, either coaches or players.
Players, yeah.
But you feel like that's not going to be what's going to change it, which I understand. You made a good point about the offensive coordinator can design a play, but if you're going to throw into triple coverage, that's not on the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I think it's going to help. I mean, listen, from what I've heard from people that I trust that, know football well beyond just the one that's being played in Nashville, the guy did some really good things with Houston. Obviously, it doesn't hurt when you have a guy like Deshaun Watson throwing the football, but I have this team's logo attached to my arm. I'm not going to go into next year and just not pray that something can happen. I mean, look what Jim Schwartz did with the defense. We thought Shane Bowen was an absolute ass clown a year ago, and I think Schwartz has a lot more to do with this defensive turnaround than Bowen does, but that's neither here nor there. He's the guy with the headset on. Maybe Kelly can do the same thing. I don't know. It's just like I said, it's all about your IQ in the postseason, and there's some quarterbacks that got it. Joe Burrow's got it already. He's in year 2.
Yep.
Mahomes, I don't know what his deal was last weekend, but he's got it realistically.
He's got a Super Bowl. He got a ring. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone else, the AFC is a quarterback gauntlet now.
Yeah.
So, you need a guy with the X factor, and clearly this guy's not an X factor. So you just got to pray that something miraculous can happen. Maybe Derrick Henry can have another incredible year and run us all the way to a title. I don't believe it's possible anymore, but that's really, I think, our best chance. That's really, unfortunately, where as it stands now. Now, I'm sure we'll talk about the other options, but
yeah, definitely.
If it's going to be 17, then I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think regardless of what happens, I know like we, the rumors was, Aaron Rodgers getting, land somewhere in Tennessee, and everyone freaked out. And they're like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is again. It happened a couple years back with Brady when Brady was like, oh, where's he going to go? Everyone thought he was going to go to the Titans. And I've been through that roller coaster already. It happened with Peyton Manning. I think that's when I was truly invested the most because I really wanted Peyton Manning so bad. And I thought, he said it. He went to sleep thinking he was going to be a Titan, woke up and said, no, I'm going to be a Denver Bronco. And like I said, I think he made the right decision in winning a chip with them and stuff like that. And that team was kind of a disaster. But I just, again, it's off season. There's always everyone's trying to get a hot take, this and that. And again, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to come. I think initially what's going to happen is that we're going to stick with Ryan Tannehill, maybe draft a QB in the later rounds and see if they can work with him and see what happens. But again, like I said, his contract, the way things are going, he's going to be under center. Regardless if you don't like him or not, yeah, right. It's like it is what it is.
The
right?
truth. It's the unfortunate truth is what I think it is right now. I think realistically, if the rumors don't come to fruition, like Rodgers or Wilson, or I'm even hearing today Kyler Murray, which just literally makes zero sense. But that's regardless. Why Arizona? Why they'd all like out of nowhere just have problems? But anyway, the only realistic option right now is I think bringing in a incredibly competitive backup. I think a candidate for that would be a guy like Gardner Minshew. I personally think he deserves to be a starter. I have another shot to be a starter in the league, and I think that's a possibility. But if it's not, I would love to bring him in as someone to compete. At least, just have someone that's not Logan Woodside. We have zero idea what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Just kind of compete with Tannehill, and maybe some sort of Mariota situation happens again to where, we start off 2-3 and he's throwing 125 yards a game. And, people on the team start being vocal like, hey, we're an incredible team being held back. And maybe they make a switch. And maybe Minshew is a guy. Listen, people are going to be like, dude, you are so stupid to even think that Gardner Minshew could be better than Tannehill. I watched him play for Philly this year. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of good intangibles as a quarterback. He can scramble like a mofo. Mm-hmm. His accuracy is pretty decent. He's got an arm. Guy's been in the league only 3 years. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about realistic options here because I just, the Rodgers and Wilson thing I don't think is possible. So that would be my only hope. If nothing else, bring in someone to be competitive with him.
Yeah, just to kind of – I agree with that. Just to kind of give them like, hey, your job's not too safe, just because, and it might bring out hopefully something, like we said, we're talking about it, and you have Aaron Rodgers, Wilson, obviously it's not going to happen. And then we started trying to plug in other quarterbacks that are free agents are still available around the league that could be a decent backup. Gardner Minshew, again, you're from Jersey, so you get all those, you get Philly fans, you get to watch those games, so you get a little bit more insight. Because again, I forgot about Gardner for a while, so I see
Yeah.
like clips of him and stuff. But the fact, I mean, he didn't play too bad with Jacksonville, and Jacksonville
No.
starters. So,
And they were a mess when he was there, a mess.
yeah.
And he was putting highlights up with them. So again, something to think about.
Yep.
Certainly, competition is necessary at this point. It just is. I mean, but real quick to touch on, I mean, here's the only thing that people need to understand about the Rodgers and Wilson situation. If it all boils down to the picks, if Seattle and or Green Bay are willing to do it for that third first rounder, I'm beside myself why people are so enamored with keeping these first round picks when we have a football team that is established. We have a football team that realistically, outside of maybe some offensive line depth, is set for a fair amount of time if you know how to move the money around.
Yep.
So why are we so hell-bent on keeping these first round picks that have basically all besides one been at this moment swings and misses?
Yep.
I don't understand what it can be worked financially. Okay. The Kansas City Chiefs brought in free agents last year when they were like $1 billion over the cap.
They were.
It's all an illusion. These guys get paid tons of money to figure out. They can figure it out.
Yeah.
If you can get it done, you have to do it.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you can get Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers for the next 3 years on this Titans team, there is no price too big for it. Outside of trading your already established talent.
Yeah.
It baffles me, but apparently some people are like, that is absolutely like the dumbest thing ever to get rid of 3 first round picks. Like all of our first round picks for the last decade have been like Deion Sanders. I don't understand it, but
yeah, I would agree with you on that one. If that's like an offer like that's on the table and stuff, I don't understand why you wouldn't jump for that. Again, John Robinson, if there's one manager that's willing to do it, is John Robinson. Maybe John Robinson sees something still. Maybe Ryan Taylor still has some left in the tank, because I feel like if John Robinson sees as Tannehill being the problem, I could see him making that switch or so. I don't see him. I see him working out a deal where that something happens. Like we need to remove this guy because, again, our Super Bowl window is closing, and I feel like it's between the max 3 years, 2 years.
2 years is really, I think that's
2
spot
years.
on.
That's what it's going to come down
Because
to.
Derrick Henry's going to be 30 after 2
exactly.
years. At some point, I mean, his early wear and tear was very thin, which was great, thanks to DeMarco Murray. But first major injury involving his foot, I mean, you got to understand, we're running this guy 40 times a game. We've been doing it for a long time. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but you understand almost 500 carries a year. That's going to catch up to him. He's not going to be playing in even, I don't even think, in decent shape in his mid-30s. It's just it's very unlikely. So 2 years, I think you nailed it on the head.
So, yeah. As J-Rob, you see that, I mean, you have to, I mean, like you said, why not try that? I mean, I would be okay. And then maybe, again, get Wilson or Rodgers if, again, we're not saying it's going to happen, but if you could, and then possibly draft like a QB in the later rounds to mentor them, and that's perfect right there.
Yeah.
Just set up the future. I mean, I understand, but kind of the mentality they have right now is like win now. That's why we went out and got Julio Jones. We would not have gotten Julio Jones just to get Julio Jones. Like, oh, we just have Julio Jones. No, we brought Julio Jones for a reason. It's to win a chip. So,
and we brought him in for the type of performance realistically he had in this playoff game. He had 4 or 5 catches, 60-something yards. He was the legitimate number 2 guy.
Yep.
A.J. Brown did what we've been waiting for him to do, realistically, because he's been a no-show in basically every playoff game he's been in so far.
Yep.
And this was the first coming out for him, like he basically said he would do. And it all boiled down to one thing, which was the turnovers. And that's just – I can't understand the fan base that is so forgiving about this, because it's just there's so much overwhelming evidence that it's unlikely that he can be the guy when you desperately need him to be. So we'll have to see how all that plays out. in the back of my mind, though, which is the only thing that's making me hold on to hope, is like you have to know, you have to believe that even people as high as Amy Adams like has to like know in her heart of hearts in the AFC get out of the AFC. Ryan Tannehill is really unlikely to be able to do it. No matter how good the defense is it possible? Yeah, it's possible I can win the Powerball tomorrow. But is it likely?
Yeah.
You know it and I know it. It's just not likely. And you have the team around the quarterback that is as good as it's been since I have been an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
That's it.
And then you think about it, the having the position we had. Not only that, the team, but being in the position, the number 1 seed,
unheard of.
And the
Unbelievable.
the AFC is going to get harder and harder. That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize. I mean, Josh Allen's coming into his own. Like, he's a stud. Patrick Mahomes, even though, he's up and down. I mean, but still, he could still beat you, And now you have Joe Burrow. Like, it's just getting better and better. And
Lamar Jackson was hurt half the year. That's
exactly.
the only reason they weren't in they still almost made it with his backup.
The backup did good.
He's decent. I mean, I think he would have won that game.
Like
2 weeks ago.
So
it sucks. This loss is without question, since I've been a fan that has eat, slept, and breathed this team, which I would say realistically has been a solid 15 years now. It's the worst loss ever. It's the worst loss ever for me. It's one that I've lost sleep over. I'm still losing sleep over because this was the stars were aligning for this year. I mean,
everything
we would have
worked out.
We would have faced the damn Rams, who we whooped without any quarterback performance at all, essentially. I mean, it's just like everything was aligned, and the one guy that was supposed to be the savior was the one that held us back, and it's a truth that we have to live with now.
Definitely. So, is there any quarterback? To be honest with you, I haven't really looked too much into college quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft now. I know that the draft is not really, there's not too much, hype on QBs coming out.
Yeah, it's a very weak year from what I've heard.
But you never know, man. I mean, that diamond.
I'll say this.
Up, right?
I like the Kenny Pickett kid from Pittsburgh. I'm not yet mentally ready to start scouring YouTube for film on potential draft picks because the grieving process hasn't ended yet. But the little bit of I've seen this kid Pickett from Pittsburgh, he's got a very Herbert vibe to him, incredibly Herbert-y type look to him. The way he throws. That fake slide everyone's seen, that was like, I don't know if I want a guy like that, but, I see a lot of upside there. I don't, he's a guy that if you would want, you'd have to get in the first round. So I don't know how the likelihood of that. I mean, you're going to have to go all in if that's going to be your option realistically. The kid from Liberty, Malik Willis, I believe his name is, he looks raw. Like I talked to him with my dad a little bit. He's like, reminds me a lot of a Steve McNair type, just raw athletic talent, strong, tall, big. But he played in a conference. I couldn't name another team in that conference. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going to translate in the NFL for that. A rookie quarterback for this football team is not the answer, and it just isn't. And I tried to talk myself into it because it looked like the most likely possibility for us, but it's not this team is too much talent to put on the balance of a 20-year-old kid. It can't happen. Yeah. And if that's their avenue they're taking, then
it's rough.
I don't know. It's rough. It's a very difficult position that we're in right now.
Only time will tell, man. Hopefully.
You're right.
Hopefully, like I said, the grieving process goes a lot quicker and smoother for you. I mean,
I'm hearing rumors today that we're trading Kristen Fulton and a first-round pick for Kyler Murray. the Super Bowl hasn't even kicked off yet, and we're already seeing shit like that. That's a situation which I don't think would make any sense at all, because as much upside as Murray has, and I think he's very damn near close to a top 10 guy, you're giving away your top 3 defensive player and a first round pick, and this guy's gonna need big bucks. So I don't know if that's the answer. He hasn't proven anything in the playoffs yet either, but that's where we're at, man. It's not even Super Bowl Sunday yet, and we're talking about getting Kyler Murray because he just unfollowed the team. It's crazy.
Yeah, on Instagram too. He took over. Don't worry, Tom Brady's gonna come out of retirement and play.
I saw that on Facebook. I swear to God, I saw that he's gonna come out of retirement and kick it one more time at Vrabel.
There it is.
Are you serious, dog? Are you really? Come on, man.
There it is.
I want whatever weed he's smoking. I want some of that.
Gronk's coming too.
Yeah.
Got a tight end for 1 year.
Yeah. We're gonna bring back fucking Aaron Hernandez back to life too. He's coming. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's uncharted territory. I was talking. It sucks, but I was talking to my friends, and I'm like, this literally is the first year since 2014, which was the year before I knew we were going to get a top 2 pick and is going to be a quarterback, that I've really not had any Super Bowl aspirations. It's tough. The AFC is just so hard, man. It's so difficult. Yeah. This guy ain't the guy. Yeah. He ain't, but we got to live with it. So we'll see how it all turns out.
Let me know, guys, down in the comment below. What do you guys think? Are you guys thinking? I mean, regardless, again, Sal's making his opinion, but again, regardless of who's under helm, if 17's back on, I mean, he's not going to dog the guy. That's the thing. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think, okay, exactly. Well, he doesn't like Tannehill. No, I mean, whoever's our quarterback is our quarterback, and we're going to root for him. But
amen.
Sometimes you just got to be just a little bit realistic. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. You nailed it on the head, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. If this isn't the proof, then there never will be.
Yeah, that's pretty intense, man.
I mean, I could have went to the AFC divisional game and sat 10th row with the money I spent on this, but this is what I wanted. I bid on it. He was my guy, and I'm still gonna root for him. I'm still gonna be jumping up and down when AJ catches that first touchdown pass. But there's nothing on earth I want more than to embrace my dad, who brought me into this fan base after a Titan Super Bowl. Yep. And we have it. We have everything. The ingredients are in the bowl, and it's missing one. And that's the hill I'm going to die on. So we'll see, man. Time will tell.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, again, like I said, thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving your opinion. Again, guys, go check him out. Great guy on Twitter. He says it how it is. That's all.
We're gonna have you on my show too, for sure.
Definitely, man.
Especially because you're a Jersey-born guy. Gotta make it happen for sure.
Sounds good, bro. Again, thank you so much, man, and tighten up, brother.
Yes, sir.